everyone, go. We're back.
Ah!
What the heck was that, Blythe? You're like, it looked like you started to do the chicken dance and then just quit immediately.
No, you start with that.
I
So
know,
I was
but
in
like,
the middle.
of
I
the
was in the
chicken.
middle of a chicken dance.
Okay,
And
fine.
then I stopped.
All right, my bad.
Wait. Ends with that?
If I'm able to convince you, then you don't know.
I thought it ended with a clapping.
No, I think you're right, because right when I ended,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you jiggle down.
How about getting DMCA'd straight away? Can you get DMCA'd for the chicken dance?
But I was able to make you hesitate, which is a
This is-
success.
Is it? I
this
feel
is
like you know me
the-
better than this by now.
This is the sign of a quality podcast where in the first 30 seconds we're debating the process of chicken dance and what moves
No.
go first, what's what, how does this work?
Video game news is slow.
You're not wrong.
Hi everyone,
Not that
I'm
I'm-
Grey Wolves.
I'm Platinum.
I'm in Blindside.
All right, that's all the intro we need at this point.
We know it.
It's more than what we usually do.
It's
Just
like
nothing and just continue talking.
15 minutes in, we've fully disputed the chicken dance, and then we're like, should we introduce yourself? And they go, nah.
Nah.
And then-
It's fine.
If they stuck around this long, they don't care who we are.
Exactly.
I know video games.
Okay.
How
Mhm.
did either of you play Back for Blood?
No.
No, but I remember seeing the E3 thing, and
So it was an
looked
open
stupid.
weekend this weekend.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know that happened in video games.
Okay.
Oh,
Good.
Did you play it?
Yeah, I thought you
No,
were.
I didn't.
Oh
but
my
I just-
god! Then why are we talking about it? Michael tried to play it, and it's like it like closed down 3 times on him, like it
Oh.
just like fell down, and then like he was trying to play it, and he had to go through this rigmarole to like play it, and he was just like, he's like, I'll try one more time, and then I'm not playing it. Like, he's like, it's not worth the effort.
All right. Good talk, everyone. I'm glad we really hashed out all the fine points of that game's free weekend that we know. of.
Excellent. None of us played it. It's just Left
But-
4 Dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, has any of us played Left 4
Zombies.
Dead?
I own
Yes,
Left 4
I have
Dead,
played
and I think according to like Steam, I've logged in for like 10 minutes. I don't think I've ever actually played it.
And I haven't played, so it's only Ellie.
It's one of those games where like you'll have some friends who are like, oh yeah, we play Left 4 Dead all the time, and then they convince you to buy it, and then you never play Left 4 Dead,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and you end up playing on like you just have like a friend of a friend who's like, oh, I've just started Left 4 Dead on my stream. I need an extra person, and you own it, and you're on my friends list. I'm like, okay, cool. It's
Yeah.
literally how I've played it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be on this stream. You shoot zombies.
No, my friends have been playing
Um,
Smite recently. We play that we come back to that game every now and then. We stop playing for a while, then we play it again. And so that's my friend's
Yeah.
group game of choice.
Ours was Call of Duty Blackout, but
Yeah.
now we don't really have one, and we're all kind of like in this sea of unknown because we don't have a game we can play together.
I mean, I'm recruiting more and more people for 14 if you're interested, but you would have to play on EU to play with us. Or you could just play on US on your own. That's fine too.
Yeah.
mean-
Plus, wouldn't you play like early in the morning? For me.
Yes.
Well, I play early in the morning for me sometimes. But yeah,
Oh,
for
well,
you
so
it
then
would
that's
be
easy for me.
for you it would be a particular ball ache to play any form of video games with me.
I played it for a
Um,
while. I enjoyed it. Then I stopped.
I've had a few people that tried it, stopped, and then have like come back to it again recently and gone like, oh, actually, it's doing okay. I've got one friend that just skipped everything.
Yeah.
He just bought a skip and was like, I don't want to do the story. He's like he was really, really big into like World of Warcraft. And he was like, I don't really want to do the story. I just want to be able to like, playing a machinist, which is a dude with a gun and robots and a flamethrower and all sorts of shit. He was like, I just want to shoot loads of stuff. And he hit max level today. And now he's like, cool, now I can shoot stuff. Which is,
Yeah.
if that's the way you want to play the game, that's
Yeah.
absolutely a legitimate way to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I understand the appeal of it. Haven't played it for a little bit. The ability just to freely switch your job, like you don't have to go anywhere. Like it's literally, oh, I'm out of combat. I switch to this job, next combat. All right, I switch to this job, next combat. So it's very easy to keep the game fresh, like vary up how you play and stuff like that. And granted, late game if you're doing um like late game mobs and bosses or whatever, like obviously you can't switch to any one job because you're probably not kitted properly for those. But like the options are there. So I understand, I get it. But like me with MMOs, after a little bit of time, I'm like, and I'm done. Like that was fun. I get it. Moving on.
Yeah,
Like,
not like a lot of replayability.
yeah, like if I don't have an end goal in mind, it's hard for me to play a game sometimes. Like if it's not beat the
Mhm.
game or something like Satisfactory, like build like, oh, I have this idea. Let me build that thing. And I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
like
agreed.
so that's my problem.
I can get trapped in Satisfactory for days.
Oh yeah, no. I built a
Like
giant skyscraper.
absolutely.
I have yet to actually I have to go back and then now like bring all of my conveyors to the different floors and have each floor do different things and stuff like that. But I built a giant skyscraper and it took me forever.
It's very reasonable.
Yeah.
I've never managed to get. My problem is I like the way my brain works is I'll go like, oh, I can make this one thing, and then I'm like, oh, okay, but I can automate this by doing this, and it ends up just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I played it, I was playing with a few friends, and we just had like this one conveyor belt that was like across the map.
Yeah.
Because we'd found something, we were like, oh, we can mine this thing, and it was just like two people were building a conveyor belt for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I've just like plonk down conveyor, and like they were just building it back whilst I was sorting out the base to be ready for the conveyor belt.
Oh yeah, no. In my game of Satisfactory, I have like my main starting hub, and then like over here I have like coal being mined. Like over here I have something else. Way over here I have my power plant. Even beyond that I have something else. And like all these conveyor belts, all like a lot of it converges on my main hub area. And like all of my conveyors have overflow stacks that just go to the ticket thing. So if I'm overflowing, like I'm not storing it. Once like overflow goes to storage. That overflow goes to the ticket machine just to give me tickets so I can buy the extra stuff. So like everything has redundant paths in these situations, so that way nothing's like stopped at any point. Like, yeah,
I feel like yours is much more organized than
Yeah,
mine.
that sounds great.
Mine is generally like, oh, I finally automated this thing, so it'll work, and it will just make loads and loads of this one thing. I'll go away and look for something and come back, and then I come back, and there's like, oh, that storage it was pulling from had one item in it that was a different thing, and now everything's stopped. I left, everything ran for 30 seconds, and then it all broke
Yep.
almost instantly, and it's been doing nothing whilst I've been gone.
Yeah. Like I mean that's what happened at first. Like all the stack overflows and stuff like that, that all slowly came as time went on. But there's several times I'm like, all right, well, I'm not making any screws because that backed up and this backed up, and I don't have time to deal with that because I got to deal with this. So I'm just gonna lose production time over like Satisfactory is such a fun game. At the same time, it's so frustrating. Like there's very few games where you need to bring out like an Excel document so you can calculate like production rates and movement speeds so you can figure out your optimum building.
These conveyor belts need to be on 3 times speed, and I need to put this one on.
Yeah, these are making 60%, 60 per minute, but it's going over here, which is only making 20 per minute. So I have to have 3 of these going at the same time. Oh, but the conveyor belt's not actually delivering the resources fast enough. So now I got to build a faster thing here, but only here because the production of 20 per minute, and then I got to convert. Like, hell yeah, no, it's crazy. I love it. It's such a weird game
Oh
to
my
love.
gosh.
It's so good.
It's fairly involved.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Yeah, it
intense.
sounds
You can
like
also
it.
feed berries to like weird dog monsters, and then they love you.
Aww.
Yep.
Can you have
So-
pets?
You can have that one pet, kinda.
Ah.
Yeah, it kind of just like follows you about. Does it find stuff? It does something.
I think you can have it hold one thing, like a stack of a thing. You can be like, here, hold this for me.
I just
Yeah.
Here is a ton of copper.
Mhm.
Hold this.
So, yeah, no, Satisfactory is a fun game. It's way more fun than it really has any right to be, but it's so much fun.
Cool.
Oh.
Man, I just want Valheim to be better.
Well,
Speaking of like building.
my friends and I were playing. I really like the building in Valheim. I like the structure,
I like
integrity,
it too,
and
but
stuff
I
like
want
that.
more.
Like my friends and I were talking, like we want a game that has like the climbing of like Conan, like you can just climb anything. The building of Valheim in terms of like how everything is structured, but then we always want the glider of Breath of the Wild. Every game needs that
Mm.
glider.
Yeah.
Like we just want to combine these
Agreed.
games to make but Valheim's fun. The leveling tool of Valheim is annoying as hell.
Like the workbench and stuff.
Well, the workbench, no, but like the terrain.
The
mod-
hoe.
Yeah, where you modify terrain heights to try to
Oh.
level.
We
Like it took me like 30 minutes one time just to make a decent enough slope.
Yes, slopes are very hard. It's
So.
very annoying.
But-
I played with a few friends. I joined late, and I basically like found a little peninsula bit. I fortified it, and I built a little hut that had a bed and some storage in it. And then I was like, cool, now I'm gonna run around and murder shit. And then like I came back, and then like across from my little peninsula hut was a mansion that was like beautifully decorated with portals in it and all sorts of shit. Where like someone else I was playing with, it was just like, no, I just sat and built the perfect home. And then I was like, well,
Yeah.
okay, so what are the other guys doing? I went to their place, and theirs was just this elaborate workshop full of all the tools you need, a workbench, all of that shit. And I was like, I don't like this game. And then I never played it again.
So yeah, no. When my friends and I played, like we all like instinctually, like we play games like this every now and then. We all instinctually take on like different roles. So like
Mhm.
I became the person that was building. So they're all just feeding me resources. So I built this large hut. I had a kitchen. I had a workbench area. I had a basement area that had all the portals in it. So when you go down there, like I had a nice little balcony overlooking the water. Like I made a really nice house. I was very proud of it.
That's so cool.
So.
Yeah, the building was really fun. I just, oh my gosh, I had like so many mods on that game because it was so frustrating.
I think we had like 3 mods. We had one that you could automatically grab resources from any nearby storage container when you're like building stuff.
Yes.
We had one
That
where
one made no sense why it wasn't in the game.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
we had
That
one.
was the one that made me download mods. I was like, I just want this one, and then I got like 13 more.
Yeah, we also had one that like if you were in the boxes, and I think if you hit like the minus button, it would automatically put anything in your inventory into any nearby stacks.
Yep.
It was like, all right, put
the
everything.
organizing ones.
Yeah.
That one was really nice. I didn't need that one to like play the game, but it was like a luxury. Like,
Yeah.
It was just so nice to just like click on one box and it's you just see them distinguished into all the other boxes.
Yeah, quality of life mods. So depending on the game, and I think I've mentioned this before, like depending on the game, I will frequently immediately go to Nexus mod and look for any quality of life mods.
Yeah.
Like I try to avoid anything game breaking, at least for my first playthrough. And like a good example is Witcher 3. I got a mod that eliminated fall damage. That's all it did.
Mm.
I think I had like one other mod, but eliminating fall damage was my goal mod. And Witcher 3 doesn't have a lot of areas where that matters. But there's every
Mhm.
now and then, like especially when you're navigating around the main city, like there's a little walkway and you just want to like hop over instead of walk all the way around, and that would kill you.
Yeah.
Like no, I just want to like I'm not cheesing a boss, I'm not taking advantage of fights, I'm just trying to navigate the city slightly faster. Let me down.
Right.
Like
Yeah, because there's areas where you're like, I want to explore this, but then the fall damage is like pretty whack. Like I didn't even think I'm that far up, and it's like I died, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I mean, I guess I fell like over a hill.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's I do that all the time in games. I just look for quality of life mods. It's like
Yeah.
it's not gonna make the game easier. It's just gonna eliminate some tedium.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because my other problem with Valheim was that you can't teleport ore, and I was like, that makes no sense to me at all. Like, they don't give like an in-game reason for why you can't teleport ore. It just says you can't. And so I was just like, I'm gonna get the mod that you can teleport
I'm
ore.
fairly confident that's a deliberate thing for scarcity. They want ore to be a scarce resource, and as soon as you can build a teleporter right where it is, that it's no longer
Right.
a scarce resource.
Like, I can't think of any reason other than they wanted the game to last longer.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and to me, that's not a good enough there needs to be like an in-game lore reason on why I can't teleport ore. Especially when I make things out of ore and I can teleport.
Yeah.
Like, that bothers me to no end. Then I shouldn't be able to wear my armor
Yeah.
if I'm going through.
I can't move this piece of steel through that, Meanwhile, fully clad in steel armor.
Right. I'm like all in steel. I'm in silver or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, you can go through, but I can't teleport these 5 or like bronze
Yeah.
or copper or whatever. I'm like, get
Ye-
the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I would bet money that the main reason that's in the game isn't necessarily so the game lasts longer. Is they want to try to find a way to make ore scarce without it physically making it scarce in the world. Because it's
Yeah.
annoying with how large the world is. If there's like 2 nodes and it takes you 70 hours to find it, first, it's not too hard to find it, but now the struggle is actually keeping it. Like it's like
And
trying to
then,
find that.
but then you can't even hold that much. So
Mhm.
it's like, even if you did like have it where you walk back and forth, at least let me like carry more. But
Yeah.
it's like I can't even carry a full stack in the beginning of the game. I think I can carry like 15
Yeah.
because everything else that's on you takes up a slot as well as weight.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I'm not doing this. I'm not walking back and forth. And then they're like, oh, well, you got to make a cart. Well, the cart mechanics are so janky, they get caught on everything. So I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm getting the mod where I can teleport. Like,
You know,
and that also took hours to get all of the ore that I wanted.
yeah, I originally wasn't even planning on playing Valheim. And a bunch of my friends were like, we all got it, we're playing. I'm like, God damn it, I guess I will. Because,
Yeah,
like,
I really enjoyed it, to be
oh,
honest.
it's good, but I knew it was going to have the similar problem of it's not out. It's not a released game. Like, there's going to be mechanics that, like, aren't finished, that aren't realized. And I don't want to, like, I don't want to play myself out of a game to the point of I will have no interest in playing anymore before the game's even released. I've done that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, it was definitely, it's really flippin' annoying when a game is not, I mean, I've ranted here before about it. So it's very, very, very frustrating. Like, that's why I was saying, like, this building patch that's supposed to come through, because there is really good building, but they said that they were going to come out with, like, a building patch that has, like, a lot more building
Okay.
and, like, options and designs and stuff like that. And that was announced when like it was released or whatever, like in their beta, and it has since not come out because now they're busy fixing other glitches and patches that people have talked about because they have open access, you know,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And so now this hasn't like come out. It was supposed to come out in like the first quarter of the year, and I'm just like, well, now I'm really mad because that's all I wanted.
You know, one thing that always amazes me in situations like that is so the developers of the game are like, oh, we're gonna release this thing, and it gets delayed. So let's say like a year later they finally release this thing. It's like, oh, we got 7 new building types, and like whatever, like
Yeah.
okay, cool. Meanwhile, you know, Joe Blow over here on Nexus Mod is like, oh yeah, I released this mod. It's got 80 new building types. It's got all these floor tiles. I fixed the leveling mechanic. I've done this. I've done that. And it's like,
Yeah.
what are you like? What? Like I know like large companies, a lot of steps, a lot of all these things, but like at the same time, like one dude over here just did all of that. Like,
He did it. Yeah.
like what?
With no money. You
Yeah.
guys are getting money.
Like things like that happen all the time, and I'm just like I know the development process takes longer and stuff like that, but like this is at least a simple thing. Like a lot of this is just color palettes. Like, oh, I made this
Yeah.
color palette, this color palette. Like it's not that
Yeah.
complicated. Like why?
There's a lot of great mods for Valheim, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like there's another one that when you're planting, it'll like automatically give you like a grid, and then like once you plant that second one to get like the line, you can just like literally plant on the grid. So your farm looks like beautiful. And it's like as close together as possible without it, because if you do plant close together, it won't grow.
Yeah.
So it's close enough. It's as it can possibly be while still growing. So then you can plant as much as possible on like your little plant of land. And like that was really cool because that's what I would like try to do. But of course, it would be like a little uneven and stuff like that. And I would be like, oh, that's fine. And then someone was like, you should do this because the way you garden. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll get it. And so I like downloaded it, and it's like this beautiful grid. It's like perfectly even. It was so enjoyable. I would like step back and be like, oh, it's so pretty.
So Blindside thoughts?
I wasn't good at the building. To be fair, I've seen because Stardew, if I
Yeah.
just reference a game that I actually do know about, Stardew, the way the modding works with that, like I never really bothered, and then I saw a few people playing with mods, and like an awful lot of it was aesthetic. But there's things like people modded in like a tractor.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, yeah, rather than having to run around.
I
and
love
be
the
like,
tractor. The
okay,
tractor is so good.
Oh,
pick
that
up
would
this,
be so
and then
nice.
I pick up this. Well, yeah, if you grow 70 crops in a season, and then
Yeah.
when you have to go harvest them all, you just take the tractor and you trundle along, and it's like, okay, cool. Here's
Oh,
all your
that's so
turnips.
cool.
Yeah, no, the tractor is amazing.
And
'Cause
I'm assuming they have it like in the game to where it's worth a particular amount of money. It's not like you just automatically get the
Yeah, you
tractor.
need to have a battery. You need to have iridium ore. Like they
That's
put it.
so cool.
The modders put it in a point in game where like you have to have a good amount of resources to be able to build it to have it. Like you can't just have it.
It's like an end game
Yeah.
reward.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
And, like,
that's so cool.
And it'll do like a 4x4 around you, so it's a bigger area. And like you can even make it so you can do it with anything. So you can hop on the tractor and grab an axe, and it'll slowly cut down trees there around you. So you can.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, and it's faster than a horse. So then you just drive your tractor around town.
That's so funny. Oh, that's so cool. That I know I've brought it up before, but like I do wish at some point, like on PlayStation, you can add mods like that. You know.
Yeah, I mean some of that depends on the game. Like Skyrim,
Yeah.
console Skyrim allows you to grab mods off the. Like they built it in, and any mods on like Nexus mods are built into like the app, like into the game on
yeah,
Skyrim
I
on the
thought
console.
I heard that one time,
Yep.
but I haven't played with it at all, and obviously it's very scarce.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Plus, I
they-
wasn't sure if it was just Xbox.
Well, Bethesda got in a lot of trouble because they released like a store for all the modders mods, where they were like,
oh yeah,
yeah,
they were like getting money
Every-
off of.
everyone made all these
Yeah.
mods for our games, which is great. So what we do is we'll put them on a store rather than letting you like download it, because then you're using our IP, so that's like infringement. So what we'll do is we'll
Yeah.
put it on our store, and we'll charge people for what you were giving away for free, and then we'll give you a bit of the money. And all the modders are like, wait, hold up, this wasn't what we wanted. And they're
That's
like,
funny.
well, the choice is we either like DMCA your hard work that everyone loves, or we make money off of it and we give you the money so you're involved as well. And it's like, okay, that's fine.
You gave me so many good options here. I guess that's-
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get it. I think it's cool if we would pay for them, like pay the hard work of these people.
Yeah.
Because, like we said, there's like one person, and they're like, "Here's 80 buildings involved."
So
But
speaking of DMCA is always something that amused me in the world of Twitch. So like YouTube, you can have like 800 videos and have like a DMCA strike against all of them. YouTube's just like, come on, and that's basically that's the end of your like.
hey,
feel
don't
like,
do that.
eh.
Oh,
Where
you
Twitch
know the
is-
rules.
Twitch is like a 2 strike, like you're fucking banned. Like they're very intense on it. It's like this weird polarization. And of course, a lot of the problem is people play video games. The games just have music, and then they get DMCA'd. And the thing that amused me is outside of just the disparity between YouTube's view and Twitch's view is like, even when I don't stream, the first thing I do when I go into a video game is honestly I turn off video game music or turn it basically down. I've never been a music person. Like I like music, I'll
Mhm.
listen to music, but like I haven't deliberately listened to a song in years.
Oh, just in general?
Yes.
Or video games?
In general. Like
You-
I have
Whoa,
earbuds.
I
Any
thought I wasn't a music person. You're really not a music.
I have an earbud in
Like,
almost any time I
Hates
go anywhere,
music.
and I'm listening to audiobooks. When I'm in my
Yeah.
car, I'm listening to an audiobook. Sometimes if I'm sitting at a desk and I'm playing like Satisfactory, which is just very monotonous, I have Audible up playing an audiobook. Like I don't do music.
Yeah.
So like it
and
amused
I'm-
me as well because
yeah.
I don't have this thread of DMCA's whenever I did stream because I just turn music off and I'm just like minding my own business.
Yeah.
That hurts my soul. As someone who is like a big fan of like the Final Fantasy games, which have some of the best music, and like some of the games, like the music just so well like rounds out a scene of what's happening,
Yeah.
and you're like, the minute I get a game, I just like music down.
I do turn it down quite a bit, but
I started Death Stranding recently
Okay.
because I've got like this whole host of PlayStation games that I've just never touched. So I started Death Stranding, and I was just like, oh yeah, like they got like Kojima got like a band, and there was a few bands where he was like, oh, make music for specifically this thing. and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. And then I was playing the game, and the music is just perfect. Like it's so good, but like it's always these like swells as things happen, and it's all like so well put together. And I
Yeah.
just like if I played that game with no music on, you're missing a
It
bit. Of
wouldn't
it.
be as good as it'd be like without voice.
There's just a
acting.
little bit, of it, and I know you don't care about that little bit, but you're missing it.
He's like, I don't fucking care.
Yo, fuck.
But that's funny because I am more tendency to listen to like podcasts or video essays or like an audiobook than music.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I have intentionally put music on.
No, like it also comes from the fact that before my current car, so I have a 2015 Fit, so I've had it for 6 years. Before that, I had never owned a vehicle with a working radio.
Mm.
So
Was that
like,
deliberate? You just keep yanking them out.
no,
Whenever I get
I'd
a
always
car, I
bought.
just turn the music down. I just pull that
This has
sucker
like
out
a
of there.
sign of like, please steal my radio.
No,
Like, he puts
I'd
it on
always
his
just
car.
purchased
Gray
like
hates
pre-owned
Ubers
vehicles.
they're like, "What do you want to listen to?" And he's like,
He's like,
"Nothing." And then he sits in
"No."
silence with his Uber driver. He just waits. He just waits for his destination.
No, but like I just always bought pre-owned vehicles, and most of the time radios just never worked, and I never paid money to fix them or get them. So I would just drive in silence, or I'd have my phone. I'd call people. Like I'd just talk to people. Like I'd call my girlfriend, now my wife, and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Like driving to and from work, stuff like that. So like it got to when I first got the car. Like every now and then, like my wife and I would be in it driving, and like 10 minutes go by. I'm like, "Oh my god, I forgot I can turn the radio on." And like,
Yeah.
we're just driving in silence.
I did. To
Like,
be fair, I
oh.
did that the other day. I was driving and I was like driving along, and I just went, I don't have any music on. But I literally like I
done that.
waited for the next like red light,
Uh,
and I was like, oh, phone in the holder quickly, and then just like connected up, and because I
Yeah.
listen to music like all the time.
Nope.
It's very rare that I don't have some music somewhere,
nope,
Yeah.
audiobooks.
even if it's just like quietly in the back of something.
Audiobooks all the way. I just finished book 5 of the Mage Errant series. Oh, it's so good. It's so
So
good.
good?
By John Bierce. Oh, amazing. He has
Do
2 more books planned, I think, in this series.
do you find that you just accidentally buy audiobooks constantly? 'Cause
Accidentally? No.
Like
Since
the
I
same
got a
way you get
Kindle-
a backlog of game. Oh, you actually.
Since I
accidentally
bought a
buy-
Kindle, like my phone, it would just be like Kindle thing, and it's like, here's a book by an author you might like, and it's on sale at the moment for 99p, and I'm just like, well, okay, and then I just one hit buy, and I do it like 4 or 5 times. I think my phone, like my Kindle app, knows that I do it because I get like 7 Kindle like notifications a day.
Yeah, but
It's
you're talking
like,
about
I would-
books, not audiobooks, right?
Yeah, but I assume that audiobooks is the same thing, right? Do you not buy them? Or-
Oh,
or
man,
do
I
you have a
do, but there's a
subscription?
big price difference. I ain't going to accidentally buy a $50 audiobook.
Audiobooks have always basically you got someone that does the voice, right?
Yeah, they get a
it's
voice
gonna be
actor.
that
It's like a
pricey.
They're
50.
really expensive.
Yeah, it's like a 30 to 50 hour of paying someone to read it out.
I
Like,
had no idea they cost that because like
Something.
a real book is like 15 to 20 pounds.
Yeah.
It costs more than a regular book.
Yeah. That's why I do Audible. So like I get a free book. Well, I get a book
Yeah.
every month, but it costs less for an Audible subscription than it usually does to buy the audiobook.
Because you do you go by the year?
Yeah.
Like you pay Audible for the year, and then
Yeah.
you get 12 credits, and then you just you get your books from there.
Like every now and then I'll buy it if there is a sale and stuff like that. So I have purchased a couple audiobooks outside of that. But
Yeah.
if I don't have a credit, I usually hop on Libby, which you sync to your library card, and if your library has audiobooks, you rent them through Libby, and then you can listen to the
Oh,
audiobook.
nice. Okay, that's
So
cool.
like yeah, so I do that mix. But yeah, no, so I get what you're saying. Like when I used to read more on a Kindle, yeah, I'd occasionally just buy books and I'd slowly build up. But I do not do that with audiobooks. That's expensive.
A little
I
bit
didn't
harder.
realize there was so much. Like I
Yeah.
was expecting Audible to be similar to Kindle, where it's like, oh, here's one for like £2. But
No.
if that's not the case, then no, I absolutely understand.
No, like occasionally if it's a book that's like only like 7 to 8 hour read, it might be like $10 to $15. But like I listen to books that are sometimes 60 hours long, and those are like 50, 60 bucks. So
I don't feel so bad about it now because I can buy 60 bucks
Yeah.
for one of yours.
Yeah, it's funny because a digital book is less than a regular book, and then the audio book is way more than a regular book, and then meanwhile people aren't getting regular books anymore.
Yep.
I kind of miss it. I
can't-
like having a book, but like
I do
started
too,
using the
but-
Kindle app on my phone, and then I was like, I love this.
Do you do
It's
black-
just so useful to
Do you do
have.
black background, white text?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the way to Kindle. That's the way to
Oh,
e-read.
you've
I have
absolutely
my
got a
Nook,
dark mode.
so
in it.
it's like the Game Boy. So
Yeah.
that's really nice.
'Cause
Yeah,
I've
no,
got the,
I black
I've got the
screen, white
Paperwhite.
text for mine.
That's what definitely I would do if I had the LED.
How many books do I have? Too
I'm
many.
reading Dune right now.
Yeah, see, black text
Yeah.
for black.
I only have 34 books. That's not so bad. I know, don't feel bad. I'm currently reading Brandon Sanderson's Snapshot.
Okay.
Did you
my
know
current
that's
book?
the book you were reading, or?
Yeah, so it's like one of his standalones. He does. He has like a universe of books
Cosmere.
that it's
Mm.
all. Yeah, so he has the Cosmere books,
Cos-
and I'm still waiting for like those to finish coming out. And then I saw Snapshot, which is a standalone, which is really interesting concept. But yeah, like black background. wise,
So what do
Yeah.
you mean by those to come out? Because a lot of them are series unto themselves that exist in a multiverse.
yeah, but
That's like saying you don't want to read the completed
Hulk.
Hulk series until Spider-Man is finished. Like,
Well, so I was reading the Wax and Wayne. Is
okay,
it?
that's
Series?
that's the second part of the series to the Mistborn.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was reading those, but there's still two more of those.
Mhm.
But then there's also another one just came out of the one with
The
the, big
Stormlight
swords and
Archive.
armor. Yeah. So another one just came out of that, but I think
I-
there's another one. to
I
come
know
out
my
on as
Brandon
Let me tell
Sanderson.
you about your series that you're reading because I know all books.
well. Honestly,
Brandon
all the
Sanderson.
books I read meld into one is actually quite helpful because I normally I read like a full series of
Mhm.
all the books and then I'm done. So like I read the Iron Druid series. a
Iron
little
Druid
while
is
back.
really good. I love Iron Druid.
So
I-
good.
yeah.
But I got all of them from my library and I read all of them and then I sent them away again. And that's a done compacted thing in my brain.
Yeah,
Um,
I debate going back and re-listening to the Iron Druid soon. That's a really good series.
But with the
Hmm.
Sanderson books, I like hopped around lots of different ones, and because there's characters that show up in some and others, what is in what series is gone.
Yeah, but
it doesn't stay.
But the people showing up in other series isn't terribly important 'cause a lot of times they have different names and you don't always realize they're the same person. And it's more of just like slowly showing that the universes, the multiverse universe, whatever, have some overlap, but it's very, very minor.
This sounds like something
Yeah.
I would really like.
Well, yeah.
They're
So
very good.
So you have Mistborn series, which takes place on a dying planet in which people can consume bits of metal and it gives them powers. So if you consume some tin, some people can use it to enhance their eyes, and they're called tin eyes and stuff like that. And there's some that can ingest multiple and have multiple powers and stuff like that. So you have that series. And then after that one concludes, there's 3 books. It jumps forward like 100 years, and then you have Wax and Wayne. So it's the same planet 100 years later, but now it's like Midwest time, so people have guns and stuff like that. And when that jumps, he's going to jump forward in time again and have space because he wanted to do a single planet of magic and advancing through the ages. So he keeps
Yeah.
jumping in time. So you have that series. So that takes place on like this planet over here. You have the
Mhm.
Stormlight Archive, which takes place on this planet over here. And in this
Mhm.
planet, people can. There's a storm that blows across the planet every now and then, and it infuses gems with lights. Some people
Mhm.
have the ability to absorb that light energy and then have abilities that they can do from that. Meanwhile, over here, you have on this planet people who a soul is a tangible thing. Everyone has one soul, but I can give you my soul for like $1,000. I might be cheap.
Mhm.
I might get it for $1 million, but I'll give you my soul. I still live, exist, and will eventually die. My world is just slightly more gray because I don't have a soul. But you've accumulated 10 souls. Your world is very crisp, very sharp, very done. That person has 1,000 souls. They can do like certain like magic tricks and shit like
Oh,
that.
whoa.
So like
That's
he has all
interesting.
these different planets with very unique magic systems. But there's
Yeah.
a couple characters who all come from this planet over here who we haven't had a single book on, but there's been lore and stuff talking about, and they've left their planet, so they've interacted. So you
Yeah.
on the place where people can absorb souls, there's this black sword that can talk, but it was created with the idea of purging evil. But it's an object; it doesn't know evil.
Yeah.
So it's just like, let's kill that. That's evil. And the person's like, no, that's not evil. And they say, oh, is that evil? Can we kill that? So, but all of a sudden, it just showed up on this planet, and now someone else
Yeah.
has it. And you're like, wait, that's the sword from that. you have no idea of how.
Yeah.
So like, if you hadn't read it, that's fine. But eventually, maybe you'll read this series. You're like, wait, that was the sword from over there. Oh, so it
Yeah.
started over here. So like,
Do
you have
you
those little
know?
tidbits, but like,
Yeah. Do you know, like, does he give where if he does like a trilogy or a series of books on another planet, does he say like where in the timeline it is?
no, he didn't even make it public that the Cosmere existed until other people started to make the connections. And he goes, yeah, it's an existed universe called the Cosmere. And he's released a couple things that like kind of touch on it and talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
But like,
But they're very much like their own thing then, obviously.
yeah, and the links between them are slowly starting to grow as he gets more and more series. So at
That's
some
so
point,
cool.
there's assumed there's going to be some kind of culmination. But like,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's like a well, not that elaborate because it's not other planets, but the book series that I'm reading right now, it jumps through time.
Mm.
Like, so there'll be like a trilogy in like Victorian London, and then there's a trilogy in Edwardian London, and then there's like a the original trilogy which was in New York, and it was like present day 2005. Kind of thing. But it's like, and so, but you follow the same families. So it's like, I know the last names of these characters, but whenever we jump times, it's like, I have no idea who these people are.
It's like Blackadder.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's so much fun.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the show Blackadder?
Mm-mm.
It has Mr. Bean. What's his name?
Rowan
Oh.
Atkinson.
Rowan Atkinson. So it starts place like Victorian England, stuff like that, and he's like a duke. So he's very high up in the noble thing. And so like there's one season about that and like the things that happen. The next season takes place like many years later, and his family has fallen down a rung.
Yeah.
And the next season is many years later, and they've fallen down a rung. And then like
Oh
then
my
eventually it's like
goodness.
World War I, and he's like a lieutenant or whatever. Like every season, like it's always Rowan Atkinson, but every season like his family has fallen down a rung in society and stuff like that.
Is he immortal or is
No,
he...
it's Descendants. It's just he always plays.
Oh,
Yeah.
but he always plays. So he plays different characters.
Yeah, he always
the
plays a
family.
member
Well,
of that family.
They have like a base cast. So there's like there's Blackadder, and then there's Baldric, who is always like Blackadder's lackey.
Yeah.
Like in every season, like there's a Blackadder and a Baldric, and in every season, their character dynamic is basically the same.
Yeah.
But it's just a completely different setting.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I love when they do stuff like that. I just find it really interesting.
Yep.
And I feel like it gives the freedom to kind of continue to make a show fresh. I mean, that's why Doctor Who's still going, like, because they can replace literally anything and just keep going.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you can replace the main character, you could replace the time period, you can replace a genre, like you just keep going.
there's a show currently airing that's doing that where each season is just different.
Yeah.
And it has Harry Potter in it.
Daniel Radcliffe?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
Or is it actually Harry
Doctor's
Potter?
Notebook?
He's a character in it.
Now I'm trying to think of the name of the show, but like again, Daniel Radcliffe, like he just loves to do whatever the silly ass thing he can do because
Yeah.
he's got money.
Mhm.
So like the show's very weird, and it's like 2 or 3 seasons, but like one was like the Midwest, and then the next season was like Victoria. Like it's just
Miracle Workers?
yes, Miracle Workers. Thank you.
IMDb, baby.
Yep. So like, but every season is like just a different thing.
Setting and
Yeah.
story and
Like it's still Daniel.
that's
It's still
so
like the
cool.
same cast. It's just yeah. Like all right, we're done with medieval. Let's do Midwestern. All right, let's do like
yeah.
No.
I imagine it must be so much fun to be on set for something like that.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And just be like, oh,
because-
today we're cowboys. Like, why not?
Well, there's like
Yeah,
a clip that my
totally.
friend shared that cued me into the show, and it's Daniel Radcliffe. Like he plays like a priest or whatever, and he's like singing. Then all of a sudden he's doing like this like drag. He's in leather, and he's like
I'm wondering where it is. Maybe Apple TV, but it just says buy. Not even like stream.
go to Just Watch.
That I am, but
Oh,
it looks like it's on stream through DirecTV. I didn't even know DirecTV did streams.
Can't see who owns it.
It says buy on Apple TV, but not stream. So I'm like, shoot, I don't
Yeah.
think I can stream it through there.
yeah, because season 2 was the Dark Ages. Season 3 is Oregon Trail. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it looks like
I mean,
it's
you
an
could-
Apple TV show.
So you can buy it on Apple. You can also watch it on Prime for buying it Is this like the modern day equivalent of straight to DVD?
Yeah.
Where they're just like, ah, you just said
Eh,
it.
yeah,
Just said it.
the first
It's
season
fine.
seems to be on HBO Max, so that makes me excited. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. So
Oh, and so is the second season.
speaking of which,
Cool.
are you ready for what's gonna I only assume gonna be the abysmal next season of Teen Titans?
Teen Titans.
Okay, so it already started. There's 3 episodes. They released 3 episodes at once.
Okay, I haven't watched any yet.
And-
I just
Right. So I'll try not to spoil anything. But and then I think they're going to do one every Thursday or whatever.
okay.
So but they released 3 at the moment, and man, Sneaky and I went on a journey watching this season. Like it starts and I'm like, this is gonna be season 2 all over again. Like
Yeah.
this is horrible, but it's getting a lot better. How do you like this blur? Hi, there we go. It might be really good. So
Yeah, well, it
it's
might
going
be, but
back to like season 1, which I
they-
really enjoyed.
I don't have faith in them after. They've had many
I didn't- I
opportunities
didn't
to
know
be.
we finished
but
They've had
they're
many
making
opportunities to be
decisions.
really good and have failed every step of the way.
They're making decisions, and I'm liking it. So I don't like all the decisions. I think some of the decisions are whack, but some of the stuff, if I let that go, there's other decisions being made that I'm like, holy shit.
Like
So I'm very excited.
I kept waiting for the show to become more procedural, and it just never happened. And I just kept being
I
more and more
know.
like, I wanted like Teen Titan versions of Supernatural. Like, yeah, you could have overarching stories across the season
Really?
and
Oh,
doing stuff like
interesting.
that, but I also kind of want like procedural. Like, I want a baddie of an episode or 2. I want like again, I'm fine with an overarching story across the season. Like, I'm okay
Right.
with that.
But
Like,
give little villains so that way we can like see these people.
yeah, like I'm
yeah,
okay.
because
Yeah,
go
like
ahead.
I'm okay with continuity across the season, but I do like that procedural aspect of shows sometimes. Like, I don't always want to have to watch all 24 episodes to get the full story. I like little sub stories that have a definitive conclusion amidst that.
Well, I think their main issue, especially considering like that line of thinking, is like it took like all of season 1 just to get everyone together.
Yeah, and then they've done all of season 2 just fucking that up.
And then they were like, now we're together, and immediately they break up. And you're
Yeah.
just like, I want to see Titans together. That's literally their catchphrase is Titans together.
Yeah.
And they're not together.
Yeah, they spent the whole first season setting up, and the whole second season just fucking it off.
But then it's funny because then their whole line of thinking in the second one is like we're a family, kind of thing. And it's like you have spent no time being a family as a viewer, so that argument is like null. It makes no sense that this character is like full in on this team, And so like,
So we need a
oh
Fast
my
and
God,
Furious
season
and
2
shit.
is so bad.
We need to bring in Vin Diesel to really get that family
Yeah.
together.
Totally, because they're
Teen
totally
Titans
doing.
needs a Vin Diesel meme.
They're totally doing the Vin Diesel, like, we're a family. And I was like, you have
Bam.
spent no time as a family. Like, this makes no sense. We
Yeah.
spent an episode, and I don't even think it spanned time. Like, so it makes no sense as a viewer, but it's like sometimes you just got to be like, okay, you guys are a family, sure.
Yeah.
So, but no, this season could be really good.
It won't be.
Well, we'll see where it goes. But the first 3 episodes were like, oh, okay.
I didn't finish season 2, and now I'm not sure I will.
Season 2 is so bad. Just skip it. Just watch a recap.
Yeah.
Just give it.
It just
No, really. There was like one arc that I really liked, but it was like the second half. Like, do you want me to spoil it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you just told him to watch a recap, so this is his recap.
Right? Well,
Chat,
because like my
spoilers.
favorite story out of everything was when Superboy and Beast Boy get captured, and they get like kind of like mind controlled for a while. Like they were doing brain surgery on them, and so they were like wackadoodle, and then they like fight the Titan. Like I enjoyed that story a lot.
Mm.
I found that very interesting of like because they got captured by Cadmus, and I was just like, I felt horrible for Beast Boy. I was like, no, my baby boy. But that was pretty much like, and then it was fixed super easily, and I was just like, all right, sure.
Super
He's not
easy,
gonna need
barely an
therapy.
inconvenience.
It totally was. They were like, oh, Raven will just do her magic. I was like, yeah, that's how that works.
I mean, that is kind of the problem with Raven as a character, right? Is that
Yeah.
she just has like ultimate god powers. She
Yeah,
can
there's-
do whatever she
armor
wants.
or like plot powers where it's like she can just do whatever the plot needs.
DC and Marvel has that problem with a lot of characters.
Yeah.
My favorite one ever is there's like an X-Men comic where they basically kill everyone, and then there's like someone that is like an auditor of the universe, and they just go like, "No, we're not doing that," and then they just reset it all, and it's just like, you motherfuckers! They just wanted to do. They did like a mini series of comics where they were like, "Everyone's murdering everyone! Oh no!" And then it's
Yeah.
like, and then someone just
Nah.
hits a big red button. They're like, "Nah." It's like, okay. But we got to see like Deadpool and Wolverine fight, so it's like, okay, cool.
No.
I feel like superhero comics are all about just let's go down this pathway.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like let's just because it's fun to go down that pathway and then you rein it back to the norm.
The thing that bothers me about that is I hate movies, TV shows, comics. I hate anything that has a big undo button at the end. Like I feel like you literally just wasted my time. However, the thing that annoys me more about that in like the comic world is we have established multiverse.
Right.
Like we are Earth 626. Whatever. Like we know. Like why undo? Why not just
Just go to a
fuck
different
up a
Earth.
universe and be like, well, that's that.
Yeah.
Like
and then it's like meanwhile on Earth 52 and then like
Yeah.
just and then it's the norm. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
I know that's similar to an undo, but it's not. It's different
it's
enough.
not. It's consequences.
'Cause
Like those people are gone.
Yeah, and it leaves open for like maybe someday like the 2 or 3 survivors of that multiverse will come over and be like
Yeah, totally. I agree. That's why I do like what Marvel's doing right now with like with the Infinity Snap and da 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 da. Because a lot of people are like, "Oh, everybody could back." I was like, "Yeah, but there's been like consequences."
yeah.
You know, they're like, "Well, no one really dies," and I'm like, "Well, no, they are kind of dead. Like, yeah, we might still have the character, but they are different. Like,
Yeah.
they are like a different version, and I enjoy that."
Also, Iron Man, he dead. Like
Yeah,
Yes.
people are
Very
like, "He's
dead.
coming back." I'm like, "No."
Robert
It
Downey
is
Jr. might
not.
reprise for like flashbacks and holograms and like computer things, but he dead.
Yeah. No, he's dead.
Like Quicksilver, he dead.
Yeah.
Like-
And God, did that hit hard in WandaVision. I'm like, shit, they're really not bringing it back. I'm like so mad.
Nope, they spent that entire time just setting up the dick joke.
Well, even just to have, another actor like play him, I'm like, oh man, you're
Yeah.
not even gonna bring back the actor. Like, you're not even gonna tease it. Like, Jesus.
Oh man.
Oh, we're gonna become famous.
2 at
Oh,
once, that's
wait.
impressive.
That's
We can-
super
man.
impressive.
We can buy primes. Why would you
But,
buy primes? All you get from primes is
Bam.
money. It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Because
That's a
people have
question.
said that about like Gamora and like Loki. They're like, oh, they're not really dead. Like, so there's no, da 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 da. And I'm like, they're different people though. Like,
Yeah.
they're a different version, and I find that almost more interesting than this person's dead and never back, kind of thing. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
having it change stuff is still like, yeah.
and that is a problem though, as well as I have with time travel. Like, I enjoyed WandaVision. I enjoyed Loki. I'm looking forward to the movies. But like, you have fucked up so much with how you have time travel in the multiverse set up that like
yeah,
you are
you
just
just have to like accept the rules at that moment.
yeah, like it's getting so out there, and I'm just like nervous they're just gonna retcon things constantly and alternate timeline things and just like
Yeah, I think they will, but I'm not too worried about it because
Yeah.
it is, after all, superheroes. It's
Yeah.
a guy who had too much gamma radiation and now he's big and and green. So I'm like, just tell me the rules. Sounds plausible. Let's go forward.
yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So you watched Jujutsu Kaisen?
I did.
What'd you
It's
think?
It's Like, I was watching Naruto and I was like, let me take a break and watch Jujutsu Kaisen. And I'm like, oh, this is actually very similar. And then, but it's like funny because there's just this time gap because Naruto was made way back when and
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen was made now. And so I'm just like, this is such a better streamlined version
Yeah.
of what Naruto is.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it so much more.
It's a very quick, concise story so far. Like, it's got a
Yeah,
little
and,
bit of
like-
wandering, but otherwise it's
And the characters are like, oh, it's just so much like the main character is like such a better version of what Naruto is, and
Yeah.
like the girl is like such a better version of what Sakura should be.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just it's so good. Each character has like really like fun motivations
Yep.
and trying to figure out everything. And I really like talk about magic systems. Like I really like the magic system. I think they use the term curse too much because they mean
Yeah.
curse for like 3 different things.
yeah, it's very interchangeable, and there needs to be a little bit more distinction.
I wish they had like different words for like different things because they'll say like there's like a cursed person, as in like they're like a demon essentially, and then but then they'll also have like cursed energy that they use like positively
Mm-hmm.
to defeat the cursed person, and then they also can put cursed energy into their weapons, so then the weapons can defeat demons. But then also there's cursed techniques which are different from cursed
Magic.
just magic in general. And I'm like, they even like explain it. They like give like, oh, this one's cursed technique and this one's cursed energy. See the difference? And I went, no. You need a different name.
I wonder if in Japanese there's slightly different, like there's slight differences between them,
Yeah.
and for them it makes complete sense, but there's no direct
Yeah.
translation, so it just becomes
Yeah.
curse.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is confusing. But that being said, I do like the system
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
Like if you get past like the terminology.
But fun fact, the translation issue is one of the problems with the Bible. So, suffer not a
Ooh.
witch to live. In the original Hebrew text, I don't know Hebrew, but the word that's used
Mhm.
references an evil practitioner of magic. It's
Mm.
specifically like, good is fine. People who do the evil version are
Right.
bad. But for the
Right.
King James Version, English didn't have a separate word for good versus bad. So it just
Right.
became witch, which then just kind of meant anyone who practices magic.
In general.
Yeah. And that's a
Yeah.
translation issue because, again, Hebrew had different words for good versus evil versions of that. English didn't, so they just used the one word, and then
Right. Yeah, we really don't, because you would say like wizard is a more positive, but it's also very like male, and like witch is very female.
yeah,
You
like
know what I mean?
yeah, gender has gotten into it, but not good versus evil. Like,
No,
We've
so it's
genderized the
like,
term.
well, because I would say like for a male you have wizard, which is positive, and warlock, which is negative.
Mhm.
And then like, but like for the and then like that's very gender. It's a very gendered word. And then we have like the female witch, and we don't have like a positive mage, maybe. But even that I feel like is male.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so bizarre. I always thought that was weird that like witch is just like negative all the time, and we don't have like a positive version of.
Yeah, because again, the connotation generally does refer to male, but again, wizard is a sexually indiscriminate term. But yeah, the general reference usually means a male.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
So, but yeah, so
Were
like,
you gonna say something, Elliot?
Yeah.
Earlier? Sorry, I cut you
Yes.
off.
So you didn't cut me off. It was fine. You were mid thing, but you reminded me of something. So where you were saying where they can put curse energy into weapons, have you seen they're remaking Shaman King?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Shaman King?
No.
It was so good.
I've watched a couple episodes of the new one, and it's really painful for me to watch because it's very, very much friendship solves problems. We have a problem,
that wasn't.
but through power of friendship, this is resolved. And like that's every
The
episode
original
so
was
far.
like through the power of I'm gonna put a spear in my sword and kick the shit out of you.
Yeah, no, this
Which
is
is much
I have
more
the
power
spirit
I
in
can
my
relate
sword,
to.
but we're too weak. But we're good friends, so we're gonna become better friends, and now we win. That's the first 4
Aw.
episodes every time.
Oh, I hate it.
No.
It might
is
become
this the remake
less-
you're talking
yeah.
about that you were so excited about? Oh,
It might become better as it goes on, and I didn't watch the original, so I don't have a context to think maybe this will change. I just know the first 4 episodes, the power of friendship was the solution. And like it's not
I-
even like a roundabout way. They almost like state that we need to be better friends, so our power.
Like, it's
luckily
not
we're
you.
friends.
Reading context. It's like, no, that's the dialogue.
Yeah.
That's they're getting ready to release a game, obviously, and that will be the dating sim element. Like they're gonna take it from Persona 5. Dating sim games. Have you seen Boyfriend Dungeon?
I've seen it.
Didn't Nintendo like just announce that? Isn't that like the
They just did a stealth release, and
Yeah.
it was on Game Pass like day one, and they were like, "Here, have this game," and then everyone was like, "Wait, what the fuck? I
Is it
can
made
date."
by the same people as Dream Daddy, or is it completely different?
No, I don't think it is.
I don't think so. The art looks different.
Kit Fox Games. Like from what I've seen, the dungeon crawling doesn't look anything special, but you try and have sex with your weapons.
Oh, nice.
That's it, really. One of them is a cat. You can't date the cat though.
lame? Why
Aw.
even play?
I know. They made
We're
Moon
okay with having
Hunters.
sex with weapons, but bestiality is too far.
Well, the weapons turn into people.
The cats can turn into people.
No, the cat is like a fist weapon that turns
What?
into a cat.
It's
And
a
then
what
there's-
weapon?
There's like
You
a
gotta fist the
weapon.
cat. You can't have sex with the cat. You can only fist
It's
the
like a
cat.
knuckle,
I
like a
am,
knuckle
I am
duster.
no longer comfortable with this conversation.
So the cat's like a knuckle duster that turns into a cat. But then you have like there's a sword, there's a pole arm, there's an axe, and they all
Okay.
turn into different things. And basically, I think it was just like in Hades, everyone was like, "Oh, look all the sexy people you can meet." Then this game was like, "What if we did that? But actually, you can get
Date
in a
'em.
relationship with them, but
Yeah.
also we'll make it so they're the weapons." So I know that
Hmm.
one of them's like a rapier called Sunder, and basically he's just a hot dude in a leather jacket. But then, like when you're in the dungeon, you fight, and then I don't know, somehow you seduce him more, and then he gets stronger. Is the crux of it, I believe.
Ooh, okay. Yeah,
But
I really
basic-
like that art.
The more you
Yeah, it
handle his
pops out of
sword,
nowhere.
the stronger he gets.
That's
That's
true.
what I've been told.
The blade becomes more rigid.
All right.
I've just
I
seen
didn't
in
realize
the
that.
article I was reading, not come across Boyfriend Dungeon before. Alyssa describes it as unabashedly horny. Well, it is what it is.
There you
Sold.
go. I'm trying to remember. I don't think I've ever played a dating sim, unless you count Sims.
I mean, I wouldn't based on the criteria, even though Sim
Right.
is in it and you can date people. Like, there's a very
Yeah.
structured difference.
Yeah.
I played the pigeon one briefly.
Yeah, I don't think I've. Yeah,
There's
I know
one where
about
like you're the
pigeon
only
one.
the only human to go to a pigeon school. But
So
the pigeons
first,
are also people.
first cats,
like-
now pigeons. We're learning a lot about you this episode, Blindside.
Dude,
Um,
is Beauty and the Beast your favorite movie?
Have I done any of the dating sim games? I mean, Persona's got like a dating sim like element, but it's not really a dating sim game. And other than like weird flash games, because
Yeah.
everyone played weird flash games. I think we're all from that era.
Yeah.
I don't play those though. Not the dating sim ones.
I think it was just a lot with dating sim elements.
Yeah, like I'd play a lot of random games on like Conquer and stuff like that, and every now and then one would just end up being a dating sim. I'm like, oh, no, I'm out. But so like I played the beginning part of a lot of variety of dating sims before I realized I was playing a dating sim. Cause I would just click
Then you're
random
like,
games, or it's like earn the badge of the day. I'm like, sure, let me get the badge of the day. What am I playing? I'm like, oh, I'm out.
yeah,
like
no,
we
I
get-
don't think I ever have.
You get so far into a video and then it's like, but I can't pay for this pizza. And you're like, no, 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 no. Like it's just the flash game equivalent of that.
Oh man. Yeah, so back to why you're looking that up. So my only problem with Jujutsu Kaisen is the power scale went up fast.
Yes.
And like I worry
loved
about
it.
like where it's gonna plateau. Like is
Yeah,
it gonna
I don't know. It's so
What
hard
if it
to
never
say.
plateaus? They
Then-
just destroy
know.
the
then
planet.
it
what I'm
becomes a
kinda hoping
DBZ
for.
problem where like they have this immense power, but for some reason it's always extreme but not.
Right.
Because like for example, like their power, like Goku when he was Super Saiyan on Namek the first time broke 1 million power level, and they've only gotten exponentially stronger since then. Vegeta was surprised when Goku's power level was over 9,000 before they went to Namek, and Vegeta already had abilities that could destroy entire planets.
Right.
So around 5 to 7,000, Vegeta was planet destroying strong.
Yeah.
And now they're just
Right.
like, so
and
there's
they
this-
don't destroy planets, I'm assuming.
with all of the casual powers that they unleash.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so like there's this weird scaling issues that you have if you just dramatically increase power so quickly.
Yeah.
Well, my
So-
favorite was
Yeah.
the God of Destruction when everyone's like, "Oh no, a God
Cat
of
God,
Destruction!"
yeah.
I was like, "You guys are already
Beerus.
so strong.
Yeah.
Like you're pretty much indestructible." And like a lot of the animations and stuff is like blowing giant craters, taking out like quarters of planets and stuff. And you're like, "Oh, a God of Destruction!" Like, how destructive can he be? Because you get to a scale where it's meaningless, right? Like there's a scale of destruction beyond like a planet or maybe a solar system where it's like this doesn't mean anything anymore. Where it's just like I've ended everything. Everything's dead. Like just over. Like roll credits.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
mean,
like
but the context of Beerus, it's kind of like, okay, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Okay, this is going to be a stupid analogy, but let's say you and Platinum are having a competition who can type more words per minute, and like it's who can do that. Like Beerus could just alt F4 the application. Like his power is a different ability entirely. Yeah, they're
oh,
strong,
yeah.
but he can just close the application. He can just delete them. Like he just removes them from reality. Like
Yeah, he's just like, no.
yeah, so like yeah, they're strong on like this scale over here, and he can also fight on that scale, but he has this extra ability of just delete. So that's the threat of Beerus.
He's just a big old nope.
Yeah, he never
What's keeping him from just deleting him then?
He's
Well,
not.
that's like the story of it is like
Yeah,
he's semi-interested.
Yeah.
Is basically the thing.
Right. That's what I assumed was just like, well, let's see how this plays out.
yeah. They kind of play it off because he's a cat. Like I call him Cat God, but like if he's intrigued, he's gonna play around. He's not just gonna kill you. He's gonna see what's
Yeah.
happening and stuff like that. But then Goku pisses off like the god of realities, and now like that person can just delete entire existence, not just like people and stuff like that. So Beerus
Yikes.
kind of needs Goku because now there's an interdimensional tournament, and like Beerus can't participate. He has to find the strongest people from his multiverse or his universe
Nice.
to complete.
Yeah.
So like
Oh, that's kind of fun.
yeah, no, it's DBZ's insane,
And that's kind of how I
and Goku's the
see-
worst character ever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I see like jujitsu is like they might have like really crazy powers and we don't know exactly where they're going, but
Mhm.
I feel like all the fights are kind of like chess matches
Yeah,
because there is always something that's like holding them back from being able to do X skill.
hmm
And so then they have to like, okay, well, since I can't do that, I got to do this. You have to like outsmart your way out of it,
hmm
which I really enjoy.
I
Yeah.
was very nearly tempted by Naruto. I saw a clip the other day of like a fight.
Don't
scene
do
in
it. Don't do it.
That just looked very good, and I was like, but then
Oh,
I
it
remember
is
there's
so
like
slow.
1,000 episodes and
Uh.
how many story arcs? Because
I
I played
mean-
some of the games.
But yeah, those 1,000 episodes, a good 50% are filler. Like,
Yeah,
you
to
can
be
just-
fair, you watch with a guide, and so you skip a lot of it.
Yeah,
But
we talked.
it's still slow. Like there's times where I'm like, okay, I'm in the middle of this arc, and I'm like, it's going nowhere. I'm like, is this really like canon? Like I have to watch this, and I go back to my guide, and I'm like, I'm still in this arc. Like I don't care about
Mhm.
any of this. But it is like story, like it's main story, so you have to watch it. And I'm like, oh my god.
I don't know. I need an abridged version.
Yeah. I'm like literally right now I'm like stuck in the middle of this arc where Naruto's like in a turtle and there's this big ass fight going on and Naruto is like not there and they're like don't tell him. Don't tell Naruto. And so he's
Why
just
is-
in this like turtle just chilling. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so
Why is he in
annoying."
a
This
turtle?
I don't ask. So there's like, and I'm like, this is so frustrating. There's full like 6, 7 episodes they don't even mention Naruto. I'm like, it's called Naruto. Like, have your main character in the show.
No.
And then the best character is Sasuke, and he's not in this arc either. So literally, I was like, and they finally made Naruto cool. I was like, finally interested in him, and then they're like, we're gonna put him to the wayside. They like make characters cool, and then they immediately write them out of the arc.
I saw this video and it was like it would randomize different aspects of anime. It's like okay, it was like a battle thing. So
Oh.
like, and it's just silly. It's like okay, I look like, and it just throws picks random in it. I have the powers of, and like it has different attributes. So powers, scaling, intelligence, and stuff like that. So one person's like, okay, let me do me first, and like his person ends up being like kind of shitty but okay. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
who are you? Can I beat you? And theirs is going off kind of the same, a little bit better theories, a little bit worse. It was like, okay, now intelligence. As long as you don't like get someone great, I got this. And then it was what's his name from Naruto, like the dude, like the student who's like stupidly intelligent, with the shadow powers.
Oh yeah, he's like the leader essentially. Yeah, totally.
It's
I
like
can't
you
remember his
find
name.
out like, yeah, no, his IQ is like 3,000 compared to everyone else, and just all of a sudden he gets that
Yeah,
like
because
son
he's
of a.
the one who like it's not chess, but he like plays essentially their version of chess, and he
Yeah.
like wins like all the time. And yeah, he's like all about like literally his power is so shitty that he needs like strategy
Yeah.
to win anything, and so he just has strategy all the time. And so that's funny. Yeah, no, you're done. If you have
Yeah.
like any sort of skill in like or power in another category with that intelligence,
Yeah.
forget it.
So. Oh man.
But no, my exclusive anime at the moment is I've only been watching Haikyuu, which I got to like so far through the second season.
So good. I love Haikyuu. When's the
I'm
next season?
9 episodes from the end of season 2.
Okay.
Are you
And then
like freaking out?
It is
Season
so
2
good.
made me so tense. Like I couldn't stop watching because I was so like tense through season 2.
I had to take a break. I think I got like 2, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a little while off of it. Like I've had a couple of days where I'm just like no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I'm into the bit where there's like new schools being introduced and new players.
Okay.
There's like the bad guys back, and like
Ooh.
everything's kicking off.
Yeah.
Who I'm not convinced of him. Is it the white hair guy that plays for another school that's like an absolute superstar? He's kind of cool, but Nishinoya is still my favorite character. But yeah, I'm just.
Is that the libero?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like him a lot. He's adorable. I
But
really
yeah,
like Suki, the tall guy with glasses. I really like him.
He's just got goggles. That's the episode one.
Okay.
Oh,
He
nice.
just-
Yeah,
he just got
goggles.
goggles.
Yeah, from his brother or whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, so I tweeted about it being like, oh yeah, like really enjoyed it. Like I think it was like Netflix didn't tell me there was 2 seasons.
Right.
So I just hit play and went, and then I got to the end of season 1 and was like, oh no, I've run out of Haikyuu, and like it was just like they were just forming as a team and stuff. And then it was like season 2, episode 1. And I was like, so I tweeted about that, and then my friend Amy was like, you are aware there's like 4 seasons? And I was just like,
yes.
Season 5 is anticipated early 2020, but there's no like official information. That's what fans are quote unquote hoping for. So
2020? The year that
2022.
was passed?
2022.
Oh, 2022.
Again.
You heard 2020 as well, right?
I did.
Alright.
Okay.
I may have said that, in which case I misspoke.
I was like,
2022.
wait, did I totally hear it? Mishear it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's when. Haikyuu. I love Haikyuu. Haikyuu's so good.
I was really
best.
surprised because like I pretty much exclusively like read fantasy. So like most of the anime I've watched is like I know there's a name for it. I can never remember it. You're gonna correct me instantly. Whether you get like teleported to another world, like
Isekai.
Isekai. So I almost exclusively watch like that kind of stuff because I like am big into like fantasy.
Yeah.
Which is also what the one thing I hate with my Kindle is you get a free monthly book with Amazon Prime, but literally it's always romance, sci-fi, true crime, non-fiction, and then like one other thing, and it's never fantasy books, which is exclusively what I read.
Yeah,
like, well,
I
fuck
love me
you
some
then.
fantasy.
But I was really surprised by Haikyuu because there's like no magic and goblins or any
No.
of that stuff.
It's
It's
just-
high schoolers having a good old
It's
fashioned
just
time.
extended skill, which is essentially like because it plays so much like a shonen anime or a shonen anime.
Yeah.
Like it plays the exact same way. Like they have their big boss fights. They train. You know, they're working on skills, and you can just inset powers. Like
Yeah.
you know, and like the big tournaments are like there's tournament animes. It's like it plays the exact same way. Like
But
and
volleyball.
then but volleyball, but
But
it's like
volleyball.
set in the real world, and that's what's so good. They even like the freaking Libero will even like call out sometimes like a power that he
He's
does.
like Rolling Thunder.
Yeah,
Every
Rolling
time
Thunder,
it's
they're like, you
Rolling
don't-
Thunder.
You don't need to call it out. Like
Why just
Yeah, you
like
do.
because he's always like Nishinoya, teach me Rolling Thunder.
yeah, he's so cute. He's like, you're so cool. Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
And
so good.
One of the things I love about it is so with the shonen anime. So a lot of times those have a similar beat in terms of like there's 2 or 3 people who are just in the end above everyone else.
Mhm.
And like the supporting people help out and do their thing, but it's always just waiting for those 2 or 3 people to do the thing. Where this isn't that. Like the
Mhm.
entire time you keep waiting for like him to be like the main spiker and like lead the team, but no, it's all about teamwork and when
team.
to utilize aspects of the team and how to
Yeah.
like it's all about like no, they're all good. Like they're all
Yeah.
necessary.
Yeah, cuz like I mean, they're at a school. So you know like eventually like the third years are going to leave because
No,
and
they'll
they're
never leave.
seniors.
They're always
and
Yeah,
I'm
they're
like
just
literally I'm
trapped.
like but the team won't work without them. Like we need them.
have new first years.
I know.
Yeah, like I don't want first years even though our
Gross.
main characters are first years.
Gross.
I spend
Well-
most of my time waiting for him just to like wake up one morning. He's had a growth spurt and he's like 6'4".
I feel like that would
Like,
kind
it's
of
the
ruin
only-
it.
It's the only way to reset his power level, though, right? Is like they make him really tall, and then he's like, "Oh, I'll be able to play," but he's all like really gangly and like can't use his
Yeah.
arms and legs properly.
Oh, that would be funny actually. But no.
Mm.
That
But,
would be
the bit-
totally against everything.
Yeah.
The bit where he went away with the old coach, and then he starts like making all these like weird saves with his like his feet and shit. Where he's like leaping through the air, and they're like, "Oh no, he missed it!" And then it's like, and he just like kicked it, or it's like throwing an elbow up and stuff. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't know how
Oh,
they keep
man.
getting me with it.
Everything is so earned.
Yeah.
Like it builds so well. Like I feel like from especially season 1 through season 2, like the build is amazing. Like the pacing is so good.
It goes through all the way to season 4. There's a moment there's a moment in season 4 that was like built to forever, and then it happens, and you're just like, girl, like
Like
four,
they still get you.
yeah, and like it's
I
so
just think
good.
the beginning of 4 is like pretty slow.
Yeah.
But there's like a reason for it, so it's fine. But I'm just like, because you know I'm binging, so I'm just like, let's keep going. And then I'm like,
Let's go.
oh, never mind, we're gonna take some time. So that's all. But yeah, it's like really flipping good. And like I love the experience, just what you were talking about, Elliot, where you're like, you still like you got me
Yeah.
again. Like I'm still like emotionally in.
I know they're gonna go to the tournaments and win, and they're gonna go to nationals, and it's like, but then they do it, and I'm like, he did it!
I got
the whole
so
time.
flippin' tense. And I think it all hinges on the ending of season 1. Like I think that's what keeps you going.
Yeah.
Because the ending of season 1 is like, oh, so yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Incredible.
as good, but there's another anime I watched, Diamond No Ace, and that's baseball.
Mm.
And it has so right now the main characters are now in their second year. But like spoilers, they lose
ahead.
the tournament in their first year. Like they
Mm.
do well, they don't even make it to the last game. They're in like the
Right.
tournament last like 8 or whatever, and they lose. And
Yeah.
like the seniors are crying. This was their last chance. They're all leaving. They're advancing to the second year. Now we have new seniors who might not make the team next year in tryouts. And you're like, oh fuck. Like, it had
yeah,
that moment.
like the gravity is
Yeah.
the stakes are real.
Like you're watching, like, oh, they're gonna win. They're gonna win. Cut. They lost. They lost. Like,
Yeah.
They won. No?
yeah. So like, I love animes that do that. And there's another
Yeah.
one. I forget the full name. It gets shortened called IPPO. IPPO. It's a boxing anime.
I have it bookmarked from last time you suggested it to me.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched it.
And it has the same
Yeah.
thing. Like the main character doesn't have a flawless career in boxing, so you never know,
Right.
is he gonna win this fight or lose this fight. And
Yeah.
before every fight, you also, like, it gives you more insight to who he's fighting. Now you're like, well, I don't want him to beat that person. I kind of like that person. Like,
Yeah.
He's trying to feed orphans. You can't just go around beating them up.
yeah. So like,
Yeah.
so I love when things don't always have to, like, well, you know they're gonna win. Like,
Right. Because I really like every game. I'm like, I don't know.
yeah.
They could do anything. Like you think you know, but I'm just like, I don't know. They could go like they could not. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So yeah.
Because you're like,
I was
are they gonna make
so
it so?
stressed.
Are they going to be a champion and they need to defend it next year, or are they going to not be the champion and now they're going to need to, like, restart over with new, like,
Yeah.
who knows?
I was like, I don't know. They could go either way.
Yeah.
And I think the game of volleyball like lends itself so well to this as well because like I'm watching the basketball one now, the popular basketball one.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
on
I
Netflix.
tried.
I know the one you mean.
I don't like it at all.
That's with, like,
I
the
can't
twins
get
that
into
look
the
like nothing
characters.
alike, and, like, the guys, like, really, like, dodging between them.
It's just Kuroko's basketball.
Yeah. And like the whole thing is that the guy who is really bad at basketball, except he's really good at passing.
Yeah.
Which is a thing. Like being really good at passing and moving the ball is absolutely essential. But like the whole shtick, like the anime part of it, is that he's so forgettable that people forget he's playing on the court, so he's able to like go through defenses and pass really well.
He's magic.
You know? Yeah. And it's a shtick that even goes into practice. Like when he goes into like trials essentially or tryouts when he signs up for the club, they don't even see him, and then he's like, "Hey, I'm right here," and they're like, "When'd you come here?" And he's like, "I've been here the whole time." Like he's that forgettable. Like that's the anime part of it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but like I know this is anime, but I still can't buy this. That like if you're in a game doing man-to-man defense, you just forget who you're defending. Like what? So like it really extends the like logic of basketball.
Yeah.
And I just and then I can't like get into any of the characters. I just don't find them interesting at all. So I think I might just let it go.
Let it go. Drop it.
Let it go.
You don't got time for
But
that
like,
shit.
because I was talking to Gora about volleyball, because of Haiku, I like thoroughly watched it during the Olympics.
Yep.
Like the oh my gosh, because I felt like I knew the sport now. Like I know strategy, I know the roles, I know what's good, I know what's bad. Like, and so it was super enjoyable. And so I was talking about it a lot with Gora, and he was saying, because he's a big volleyball fan, and he was like, he's like, I love volleyball because it truly is like a team sport. Like you can't have a star player that like carries the team because you need every single person to be good. And I was like, that's what makes Haiku so good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we were talking earlier, it's like you need everyone to be good. And I'm just like, oh, that's so great. Because like basketball, you can have a better player. Like you do need the team for sure, but like you can have a better player that kind of carries some weaknesses of somebody else. But it's like if you have a weak player out in the volleyball, it's like, ugh, they will go after that person.
Because
Like,
you can absolutely gun for people in volleyball. You
Yeah.
need to be like, I'm just gonna play at that dude.
Yep.
yeah.
I'm gonna serve to him. We're gonna spike in their direction. We're gonna you can target.
And like you just center on that person, or like if they are good at something, it's like, okay, let's put some triple blocks. Like I don't know, it just seems, and it seems so much more like a chess match. So then the episodes are so good because you're like, oh, they changed their strategy. What do we do? And I like the constant rotation. You
Yep.
know, it's so good.
Yeah, the only thing that's hard about watching actual volleyball is I don't get the cool camera shifts.
I was gonna
You just had
ask,
that
like,
bird's eye view. Like, no, I want to see. Show me that egg. Quick, switch to this one. I gotta see.
Right, and pause midair and like
Yeah.
really get me to see that spike.
Yeah.
Just let me really slow mo. I want to see the hands fall away and then a big glowing light on a section
Yeah.
of clear floor.
But it was funny because like watching it, and then they do a slow mo after every play, because it's like they're rotating
Yeah.
and stuff like that. They do a slow mo after every play. It like I was like, man, you can tell the animators like really watch volleyball because like the way they move, like the way they block, and their like hand will go back,
Yeah.
like it looks so real. I'm like, oh, it's so well animated. But every once in a while, they'll put the camera like behind the team for like a play,
Yeah.
so you kind of get like what the players see. I love that angle. But
The-
most of the time, you're right. It is from like the
Yeah.
side, so you can see everything.
The only angle I hate in the anime Haikyuu is when like they're talking through the netting, so they don't
And they
animate the
and it's not
netting.
on the face.
You
Yeah,
don't
they,
like that?
well, no, because it gives this weird, almost like the face is like projecting through the netting magically somehow.
Oh, I
reminds me
like
of
it
the-
a lot, actually.
You know the guy in My Hero Academia where he phases through things and he was
Yeah.
just like
Yeah, it gives that
every
feeling.
time.
Whenever they
I
have
didn't
people
even
talking
think
through the
about
netting,
it.
oh yeah, no, take a look at it next time. Think about
Well,
it.
I
Now
mean,
you
I
won't be able
see
to
it,
not.
but like, I get into the show that I like don't even see it because that's exactly
It
what you do
pulls
in
me
real
out of
life.
it every time.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Like, yeah, seeing them with no net, like, because it fades like
Yeah.
around.
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
does. I look at the edges.
Yeah, but like I
It's
said,
like
it looks like they
someone
just went.
went in with Photoshop and they just like erased
Yeah,
this
that
bit
is
of
how
that
they do
layer,
it.
and I'm just like, I need that to stop. Can I have a
Oh,
version that comes
no.
out where it's just like if you're behind a net? Because how problematic is it to have a net in front of someone? Like nets are literally see
I
through.
feel like it would be really distracting, especially in animation, because in real life you blur it out and you have focus. But like in a cartoon, it's not gonna be blurred. So you just have these lines in front of someone's face.
Yeah. No, like
So
I
they're
get
giving
why they
me
do it. Like
the-
I understand
Yeah.
why, but it's
Yeah.
still like he's saying, it pulls me out of it. Like I understand there's no
distracts you.
better way of animating that part, but I can't
Right.
help but feel like they just magically shove their face through it with the back
Yeah.
of their body.
Some,
That's so
something
funny.
in monkey brain is just like that's wrong,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like
Yeah.
I'm not. It's not a criticism of the show. I wouldn't be able to do any better.
Yeah.
But like
Right.
every time I see it, monkey brain's like face you in it.
Yeah, I do
Every
notice
time.
it, but like it
Yeah.
doesn't bother me.
Yeah, no, like I said, I fully understand there's no better way to animate that. That is the only option. It's the best option. But I can't help but see.
Yeah, that's fair.
So.
That's totally fair. So like 50% of the show, you're like, I
Yeah,
hate that
like,
angle.
there's so much. And the problem was once I noticed it, I then every
Yeah.
time it happens, I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't notice it
Like,
right away. It was
Netflix.
sometime like towards the end of season 1,
Netflix.
season 2, where I was like, oh, well, I can't unsee it. It's just every time.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing that I really like is like there is enough time in volleyball to talk to the other team or have like these little conversations with
Yeah.
your own team and like strategize where they do the same thing in the basketball one, and I was like, there's not
No.
time to do that. Like you can't just have these little conversations, like especially with like the other team.
Yeah.
Like I'm like that doesn't. It really brought me out. It's like no,
someone
there's not enough
someone
time.
shoots for the basket. All right, now we got about 30 seconds to talk. So how's it going? No, that's traveling
Right,
through the
and
air.
they're,
That's
like, talking the whole time, and especially I feel like they talk to the other team a lot, like on the court, and I was
Yeah.
just like, you don't have time for that unless you're doing like man-to-man defense, I guess. But
yeah.
you
You
would both
you have the
to, like, get
occasional
back at the
moment
same
where you can
time.
like say some shit real quick, but otherwise
Yeah.
you're more looking like, oh, I'm ready, over your pass.
Where like in volleyball, it makes a lot more sense because there is quite a bit of time when they're rotating and the server's getting the ball, like so there is a bit of time there that you could, especially when they're like, there's no getting back on the court or anything. Like
Yeah.
you're literally right there. So that like makes so much more sense.
You're just staring at them.
You're just
Hi.
staring at their net face.
I want to see a basketball anime where they're like dribbling the ball up to the halfway and he's like thinking everything through and someone's trash talking and then they just get a time violation and it's like wow, that's a turnover.
Oh,
Shot
there's
clock.
this
Too bad.
guy. I'm like in the middle of this arc where this guy's really good at shooting threes. Like that's his big thing is that he can shoot 3-pointers. Well, then he can shoot anywhere on the court. Anywhere. he can inbound and just shoot from the other side of the other basket for a 3.
What's the point then?
Yeah.
Exactly.
How
It
does
was
he
so
not just
dumb.
win
Just-
all the time?
Like, if you ever played Zone, at the minute your defenders retreat, and he's just like swish.
Yeah, so like they need someone
what are
on
you
him,
gonna do?
like a full court press. Like they need to do that, and like the second they leave him, their team will pass him the ball, and he'll just shoot wherever it is, half court, their basket doesn't matter. He'll make a 3, and I was just like, get the fuck out of here. I don't care that this is anime. Like Haiku doesn't do that shit. Like
Yeah.
it's still grounded in reality. Like
This guy scored 700 points this season.
literally, like he's like,
With
I'm
four-
gonna
with 4
break
games in.
them. I was just like, get the fuck out of here. No way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm done. The
Yeah,
more I
you-
talk about it, the
Stop
more
that
frustrated
anime.
I get.
It's bad.
It's bad.
Cut it off.
Try Shaman King. I need
And
to
then
try
isn't it
Shaman
more
King.
popular than Haiku or no?
I don't.
Apparently, it's like I've seen a lot more people talk about it, like when they do like sports animes. Hey,
Yeah, because it's
Skuroku's
like the
basketball.
fundamental sports anime, and I was like, no wonder Haiku doesn't give like a shot, because like a lot of people say they don't like sports animes,
Yeah.
but I would argue that Haiku is much more like a shonen anime than it is a sports anime.
But it's the thing
But
is
it's
like
volleyball.
yeah, and the sport matters to people.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
a basketball anime sounds more dynamic more because there's a lot like than a volleyball anime. It's like no, trust me, the volleyball anime is better. Like it's just
it's so much better. And
I cannot
feel
tell
like
you. I can't
you don't
explicitly
even have
tell
to
you.
like volleyball.
Yeah, no.
On the basis of the volleyball anime made me want to watch volleyball.
Oh,
Like that's
totally.
Yeah.
that's a selling point for the anime, right? It's like I didn't
Yeah.
go from the real thing and be like, oh, here's an anime about this thing I like.
Yeah.
I was like, here's an anime that is that good that I was like, I need the real thing.
Yeah,
It
for
was
some.
definitely like a vicious circle during the Olympics, because I was watching it with Sneaky, and I would be like, "Oh, I'm watching it also during the Olympics," which would make me want to watch Haiku. But then Haiku went. It was like this volleyball circle.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
so
cer-
mad because
no go.
I could not find any good catch up for the Olympics. So I was absolutely. So I normally watch the martial arts and the fencing because I just think the fencing is really cool. And I was like, I'm absolutely watching the volleyball. So like normally when the Olympics is on in the evening after work or whatever, I'll go like find
Yeah.
because it used to always be on the website or something. They'd just be like, oh, here's the events for the day. Like go back and watch it.
Yeah.
But there just didn't seem to be any access for that this year.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, cool. Fuck me, I suppose.
Yeah, so like I get mad at NBC. I think they are dumb as hell. So like NBC has on their website the ability to watch every single possible event live when it's occurring. Just click that tab, click that thing, boom, live streaming, watching the thing. There's some light commentators because there's always people hired to commentate everything, and whatever, you can just watch it whenever it pops up live. Boom, 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 boom. But like NBC's like, yeah, do you pay for like Comcast or Dish or any of these? Do you pay for any of those? Oh, you don't pay for any of those. Well, you can't watch it. But we have Peacock. If you want to buy Peacock, okay, Peacock, you can watch almost none of it. But thank you, NBC. Let me give you $10 directly to watch your thing. You already have it set up and built and ready to go. Just let me give you $10 to
For the
log
month.
onto your website. Why
Yeah.
is that so hard? Why?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
They did not care about streaming. You needed a cable subscription to watch the Olympics, and then they're like their free channel, if you will, because like you don't need a cable subscription to get like just NBC.
Yeah.
You know, like their primetime broadcast.
Yeah.
Was so badly put together. I've
Yeah.
heard.
Oh, yeah,
that,
no.
like it was horrible. Like people were so mad.
Like I occasionally like I was streaming like their free thing, and like it would go to when the network like had a commercial, and you just get a please will be returned shortly. Why the hell am I watching a dead screen on a live stream? I know there's like 20 different events occurring. Just throw me a bird's eye view of some event. You don't even need
Yeah.
to commentate it. Just give me something. Like why
Yeah.
are you so bad?
Yeah.
I'm unbelievably furious at it because again, I know your website has the ability for anyone to watch any event live. Let me
Well,
give you
especially when they
$10
were,
to do
like,
that.
Olympics will be on Peacock, and then they had hardly any of the events. Like they had some of them, but it was like really bizarrely picked
Yeah.
too.
Like I don't, like I said, the structure exists. You currently have it. Let me give you money. I want to give you money so I can watch this. Why won't you
Yeah.
let me? Like I was
So
so.
that was the American side. I heard BBC was better, but now you're saying you couldn't find it anywhere.
So with the BBC, you have to pay for a TV license from the BBC to watch anything BBC
Okay.
Live. So I couldn't watch any of the live stuff, but also I couldn't watch the BBC catch-up stuff. So maybe the
Mm,
BBC catch-up was better,
Mm.
but
yeah.
I've
'Cause
I've always in the past just gone to like the Olympic website and they're like, here are the things that like here's a recap, and then here's a selection of all the
Mm.
events. Click on the event you want to watch. That was on today. Go watch this thing.
Yeah. And it
Because
wasn't like
normally it's
that.
run through Sky, which is like effectively like a cable for us.
Uh-huh.
It's like the only one we have. But yeah, so like Sky TV normally host it, and their interactives are really, really good, and their website is generally quite good
Uh-huh.
because there's a classic British thing with televisions of like press the red button and you get all the interactive shit. Generally, the
Yeah.
Olympics press red button, and then it's like here's everything, go, just do what you want to do, which is
Yeah.
really good. That's what you want, really.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I couldn't find any of that shit. Maybe the BBC's website was fine, but they're already. I think they probably did it deliberately because. So you have to pay for a TV license from this one company to watch live TV from any company ever, because they're government funded, so they have to have TV licenses.
Okay.
But if you want to watch something from like a different, like if I want to watch like something live on TV being broadcast for America, I still have to pay the BBC money,
Mm.
and they're dumb.
Ah.
So,
Ah.
so yeah.
Yeah, I use my parents' cable subscription, so my Olympic viewing was a lot different from other people, and it was amazing.
Yeah, when I worked for Time Warner Cable before they became or Spectrum or whatever, like as part of working there, you just get everything. I had
Oh,
every
that's
channel,
nice.
every premium. I had the top internet. I had phone. Like they just give you it all.
Yeah.
And so like when I worked there and the Olympics was on, that's how I know on NBC's website you can just watch any event live when like you just like
Yeah.
like I'd be
Which
working,
I
I'm
didn't
like,
know until this year. I was
yeah.
like, I wish I'd known this for past
Oh
Olympics.
yeah, no, it's amazing because you're like, oh, what's this random? Like, oh, Archie, let me just throw that on the background. And like because it's the live feed, like it's not curating just to your country. You're just
No.
watching the event as it goes.
Like, and that's the other thing. I don't know if BBC is the same way, but like here in America, they won't show an event if it's not American teams because they know like the general audience wants a rooting interest, so they won't even show it. But like on this NBCOlympics.com, like I watch like every volleyball game regardless of who is playing.
Yeah.
Because it's all there. You
Yep.
know, they have cameras, they have the announcer. So I was like, sweet, let's see Pool B, Russia versus Korea. Like,
Yeah.
Why not?
yeah, why not? It's on. I was like, let's go, because everything's important. And
Yep.
so, yeah, that was, and like they make it so easy. They're like, go by the event. I was like, volleyball. Let's see what's up. It's like, now I want to check out beach volleyball. Go up here with beach volleyball.
Yeah.
Like,
No, like I said again, their website is very well done, but they
It's super
won't
well
let
done.
me give them money.
I
don't-
know.
Just
It's annoying.
take my money.
I'm
it's
trying
crazy
to
me
give
that
you
they-
money. I don't want to give
Like-
I'm sure
Spectrum
for
money. I don't want to give
broadcasting rights, the
Comcast money.
individual
I don't want to
costs-
give Cox Cable. I don't want to give them money. I want to give it to you so I can watch the thing.
I know, like if they had an NBC Olympics streaming service for the month or whatever,
Yeah.
like Ado and I were talking about it because he was in the same predicament. He could not watch it, and he was just like, "I want to watch this stuff.
Yeah.
I want to give you money for the month. Like, how are you denying me?"
No, they're dumb. They're bad.
Yeah, I can't help but think like there has to be other reasons that we're not thinking of, but I just don't know like why they would deny it.
Yeah.
They probably don't have like individual like independent broadcasts, right? So it'd be like, oh, like the cable companies broadcast through our like medium,
But that's the
but
thing.
we're not broadcasting it.
But they have their own standard. They have Peacock. NBC has Peacock, their own independent licensed streaming service,
Mm-hmm.
where you can watch live TV channels. You can watch their pre-owned stuff. Like they have an independent thing already that exists. They have that ability. So whatever weird licensing thing I don't understand. Like they already have their own streaming service. You can already watch live TV, watch live NBC viewing, and they have exclusive rights to broadcast the Olympics. They paid for that
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So like, okay, let me.
I think it
Then
might
watch
be available in the future and they're just a little behind. And I think they're more focused on an older generation than the millennials who don't have cable.
Maybe.
Because literally it was all based around, do you have a cable subscription? And
Yeah.
most of our generation don't have a cable subscription.
Which always baffles me. Like, oh, viewing is down. Yeah, because you make it freaking impossible.
Well, first of all, viewing is down for everything,
Well, yeah.
regardless. Like, it's going to be down because we have so many options now. But now it's really down because you're not including an entire generation
Yeah.
who can't afford cable.
Like, I'm not paying $100 to have 80 billion channels when I want to.
Yeah.
So.
That doesn't even like show it live. Like, it would just be access to the website that shows it live.
Yeah. And that's all I want. Like I said, I wanted to give you $10 so I can access your website for a month. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a
Dude,
month.
the
I only wanted it for like
NBC
2 weeks. But like,
And then we're like stuck with this because they signed like a years-long
Yeah.
contract to exclusively show the Olympics for like $1 billion like 5 years ago. So now we're just like stuck in this mode.
but
Maybe
it's like,
that's why, because the contract they signed ages ago didn't include streaming, so they're not sure if they're able to do it.
but they do it. That's my point. Like they do. You just.
It's only but it's like I don't think it's any of the live stuff though. It's like just their regular channels on Peacock or no.
Oh,
is
yeah,
that
no, yeah,
wrong?
no. Peacock had basically nothing.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe it doesn't include that then.
I don't know.
I don't
Because
know either.
every cable provider in the U.S. Because when you try to log on, it lists like 30 of them. Like, do you do
Yeah.
any of these? You can now watch everything. Like,
Right. In fact, I think Kato was saying that some people were able to log into it with their YouTube TV account, which I thought was pretty crazy. Because that's, I
Yeah.
think, a
Okay.
smidgen less than cable, and you can cancel. So, like, that would be cheaper, but it's still like $60.
yeah, no, it's still dumb.
Yep.
Well.
Agreed.
All dumb.
All right. Any parting thoughts besides NBC Olympics is handled poorly?
No.
Watch Jujutsu Kaisen.
I might
It's a better
do.
Naruto.
I
I
have
saw Naruto put a man's arm through his own chest, and I was like, I could watch this. That was it. That's
Just
all I
watch
saw.
that episode then. You're fine.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It probably
Well, I understand. There was clones. That's the thing he does.
Yeah, he does some clones. It's his worst jujitsu, but he does it all the fucking
That's-
time, and he
I was gonna
doesn't
say
do
that's the
anything
one I
else.
know of. He makes a ball and he makes clones.
Rasengan.
It's true. Yep.
The clone thing is
Sure.
actually stupidly
which is
powerful,
mentioned in Jujutsu Kaisen, which is great.
but the clone ability is actually stupidly powerful. Naruto's just an idiot
yeah, agreed.
because there are other clone abilities which make facts. They make like illusions. They're not actually there, or they turn
Mhm.
into logs and
His
stuff like
are.
that. His
yeah,
are.
His are real.
His all share memories, share thoughts, share experiences. They are legit like copies that he gains all of their knowledge. So like,
Mhm.
and like
Homework would be the easiest.
that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
not till later in Shippuden, like late into Shippuden, where he finally starts
Yeah.
to like make clones and like this one's practicing that and that one's training this and I'm
It's
gaining.
not until Shippuden that he realizes he has that information after they go away, and I was just like, "You're kidding me."
So
Yeah.
does he have to like absorb them?
No,
No, as
they
soon as
just
they
pop.
poof out of existence, he just has it.
They did.
That almost feels very like butterfly effect. You know, when he gets all like the
No.
memories of all this thing, and he gets like nosebleeds and shit. I feel like
I
it should
know, and he has
absolutely be like
no
that.
effect. He's just
He
like,
did-
"Oh, I have this new knowledge." I'm like, "Bitch, that would hurt."
Oh, I saw a bird in a tree once, and he's like, "Wait a minute."
Hold on. What?
So
But yeah, I've only seen him in a fighting game dogpile people with it.
Oh, that's
Uh,
funny.
That was really it. He's just like, "Oh, here's 50 more of me, and we're just gonna jump on your shit."
Yeah, they like talk about other jujitsu or whatever, and then like he's like, "Yeah, Shadow Clones is my worst one," and I'm like, "Then do the other ones." And
Yeah.
they're like, "No, I'm stuck.
No.
Shadow Clone Jutsu." I'm like, "Fuck you." I don't. Like
Fuck you and Shadow Clones.
And like, again, until Shippuden, it finally gets good to the point where you're like, "Oh, okay, sweet." But like, it's frustrating.
Naruto was very specifically targeted towards kids. They had a large following of all age groups, so then they did Shippuden. Like, all right, we gotta jump ahead.
Yeah, and it
This
is
is all
dated,
childish,
So I
Mikata.
give that grain of salt where it's like, because it's like I love Sailor Moon, but I understand that it's dated now.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to watch it now. It takes forever. It's so slow. Like, I watched that reboot shit with the CGI transformations because it's a streamlined story. So,
I have a parting
no.
thought, real quick. Now that I think of it, so if someone is describing something to you, book, movie, TV show, anything, and they're being vague because they don't want to give stuff away, and you draw a comparison, and they tell you comparison's wrong, don't insist on your comparison. It's frustrating as shit. So, the 5th book of the Mage Errant series is called Siege on Skyhold. And Skyhold is a magical school for wizards. And there's a siege that's occurring, so they're trying to defend themselves. It's not. Someone
It
made that
sounds
exact.
like Hogwarts.
It's not. God damn it, it's not.
Like the siege on Hogwarts, where they blow.
That sounds like Harry Potter to me.
Do they blow up a bridge and the suits of armor come to life?
No. Like
He's
that's
like,
the thing.
"It does
It's like
happen,
I was
but no."
I was trying to give a vague comparison. It's like it sounds Harry Potter. I'm like, I understand how you could say that because I'm giving you a vague decision, but it's not. Like, no, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm like, I just told you it's not. I've read all 5 books of the series. It is not friggin' Harry Potter. Don't
That's so funny.
don't challenge me on this. I'm the one that's telling you the book exists. And then they kept insisting,
how
and I
funny.
was like, no, it's not even close. Like,
Magic school. Harry
Mm.
Potter.
no,
Does he have a scar on his head?
no.
Nope.
Platinum froze.
You broke her.
Get
On,
wrecked,
like, the
Plat.
perfect frame as well.
All right, let's just talk. But yeah, like, no, it's not because like everyone, like, you have affinities, and they could be
Does he-
wildly
Oh, he's
different.
frozen.
Nope.
She came back for a
I
second.
just got all of Plat at once.
But you could have
Oh,
affinities.
you guys aren't frozen anymore. How funny.
But like people have affinities. Like the main character had no affinities to begin with. He pacted with Sphinx, so now he has affinities with crystals, solar, and like something else. And other people have like rock affinities. Some people have basalt. Some people have water. Like you have affinities to specific things in nature, and the school just teaches you how to use those affinities. Like somebody has paper affinity and ink affinities. Like there's no like
All
general
you have to do
knowledge.
is say Alohomora, and it's the same thing. I mean, honestly.
I mean, is there an Irish guy with an explosion affinity?
No,
I'm just checking.
it's not the same.
Oh man.
Many people have been straight up fucking murked in this series. The main character was
People
battling
died in Harry
someone.
Potter. Someone dies in every book.
The main character was battling someone, and they conceded the fight, and the main character still fucking burned a hole through their head because he didn't trust them. There was no like,
To
all
be
right,
fair,
truce
though,
was called. He's like,
actually,
fuck you.
whilst we're on that subject, I'm fed up of protagonists being like, "Oh no, I'll let you live," because they're definitely gonna go murder like way more people,
yeah,
and
no.
then they go and murder way more people. Just murder that bitch. Just be like, you know what? No, your sins are too heavy for this shit. No mercy for you. Murder.
Yeah, no, there's a siege going on. The main character's battling this person. The person's like, I quit. And he's like, no, why did you seek me, my friends out? Why should I trust you? Like, oh, like for this. He's like, no, you're just gonna pull through head, dead, done, moving on.
Just straight up murder.
Like she was like, I could see it. I give up. And he's like, Merc, you're gone.
There is no rules of engagement in Hogwarts. You just straight up murk a bitch.
I hate you.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah,
Those
no,
are good
Mage Errant
parting
series
thoughts.
really good. I recommend it thoroughly. So good.
Yeah, I'll have to if I get through Dune. I'll maybe make that one my next one.
So like real quick, now we're on books and I'm excited. I know we were gonna end, but I'm excited about books. So
Books.
there's a character in the book called Talia, and she is genre savvy in the sense that her character loves to read, and she loves to read epic adventures and love stories and stuff like that. So she constantly comments about like book related things in their life, and people are like, this isn't a book and stuff like that. And like so at one point, like a character is talking to like their father before they leave on an adventure. So you reading the book going, oh, this is where we're gonna get some kind of thing that's gonna tie into the future. And like they're about to stop and Talia's like, no, side characters need to have these poignant conversations with family, otherwise we won't learn that important information. And then she gets on the ship and you're like, well, now can I take this conversation seriously? Is that gonna happen? The character just called it out. I now don't know what to do with this. Like all throughout the series, like she constantly makes genre savvy comments about other
Yeah.
books, and you're like, well, I don't know, because I would also
No, I
normally
don't
make that.
know.
Yeah, I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. That's
It's
fun.
so good.
fun.
But yeah, I don't know. And like the book, it's a highly magical world. Like the characters all make sense. The characters all grow and develop, and the world feels magical. So, like
yeah,
like D&D, like I played D&D my whole life, but every world of D&D when you play it, it's like a normal world,
right.
but fantastical things exist. And
Right.
like it's just like day to day still exists. This is like no, there's great powers. It sucks to be person. Like thousands of people die. Like the southern continent, it's just poison. What do you mean? It's just poison. We don't just don't go to the southern continent. It's just poison. Like
Wow.
like the whole world. Like you just learn about these new areas and new places, and it's like it's all fantastic. It's really well done. I love it. It's a good series. You should go read it. I
I'll have to give
recommend
it a
it.
try.
I
It
look
sounds
forward
well
to
up my
it.
street.
Yeah, same.
It's really good.
Honestly.
So, all right. Where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/platinum trophy wife. That's usually where.
Oh, you're not doing a Twitter? You know, no Twitter this week?
I don't let it. Nah.
I'm tweeting. I
Nah.
noticed the other day I just never tweet. I'm on twitch.tv/UK. Except I haven't streamed in a month. I worked this out the other day. I haven't streamed in like 4 weeks. Just haven't. It's been busy.
Oh,
Damn.
okay.
Haven't quit. I just haven't done it.
When's the last time you streamed? Whoops.
Today.
Beats me.
Got you both
To
beat.
stream a game.
I don't know when did I
Stream a
play
game.
Final Fantasy? When did I play Final Fantasy 14?
You're not a real streamer unless you stream games.
I streamed Final Fantasy 14 within like a month.
How dare you gatekeep hot tub streamers out of this industry?
I'm the one who does art half the time.
All right.
It was a joke on myself.
All right, everyone go.
Oh,
Hey, goodbye
no.
to the camera. Bye.